What's up, guys? Buckle up because you're about to enjoy an excellent Snaps game preview where we tell you everything you need to know about this weekend's game and probably some stuff that you didn't. Enjoy. ACC Championship SMU first Clemson. After like Fran Brown told you, I did it for you, Dabo. Don't worry, you're welcome, brother. I hooked you up. Got you back in that ACC championship. Unfortunately not unfortunately, because they'd have to win either way. This has a ton of playoff implications, probably the most of, well, not probably, the most of anything on championship weekend.
Yep.
So again, to go back to my Indiana point, you can say Indiana hasn't played one, and the ones haven't played a good team, they lost. SMU has a really weak schedule. And the one time they played a team currently ranked, it was 19th ranked BYU, and they lost. So, I don't know. I understand. Say this,
the Louisville win was impressive. That's a good team.
Yeah, it's a good team. Okay, but what would Louisville be in the Big Ten?
Don't play this fucking game. Don't play this game. What do you mean? Game with me after me playing this game for you so then
contextualize what Louisville being a good team means. What do you mean? I mean, it's a pretty good win. Sure, whatever. You beat them by 7.
Tell you who they're like. I think it's a really good win. I think Louisville's a top 25 team.
They aren't ranked in the top 25, are they?
They're not, because they freaking dropped the ball versus Stanford somehow. But that Louisville's a good football team. Exactly. It should be 9-3.
Yeah. Okay, 8-4. Pretty good win then. Fine. Their best win is against an 8-4 Louisville by 7.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not super impressive. I'm sorry. And then they lost.
Should we bring up the Indiana discussion now? Should we bring up Indiana discussion
No. We don't need to talk about Indiana. It's not about Indiana. Indiana's in.
Okay.
But if that's what you're hanging your hat on, I guess this is where I'm going with it.
So SMU has to win this game to get in, play an extra game when their schedule is the exact same as Indiana.
That's what That's what I'm saying. Jim Phillips is saying that no matter what,
yes,
SMU should be in because they're ranked in the top 12. They're in the conference championship. And you should not be punished as such. Yep. I agree with that conceptually. And I would be completely okay if that's how we operated. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I mean, come on.
Unless they get blown out, if it's a football game, they should be in.
Well, but now he's talking out of both sides of his mouth because if it gets blown out, then you're throwing that out the window? Yeah. Because that's my point. Okay, so that is kind of my point here is SMU's resume is so unimpressive to me that it makes it hard to live in a world of black and white rules where I believe they should just automatically be in. I am kind of there with you. I am there with you.
I agree. If they had a couple more big ranked wins on there, then I would say, you know what? Who cares? They've been through the gauntlet. They've proved enough to me.
Yes.
They shouldn't be penalized for playing an extra game when other teams get to sit at home and not do it. And they would only have 2 losses compared to the 3 loss teams that we're talking about. Then that's bullshit. But because the schedule has been somewhat of an easier schedule, then yes, this should count as a data point, and not in the sense of if you lose, you're not in, but if you get blown out and you look terrible, then you need to take that into consideration if you're the committee.
So as when it comes to the game itself, I don't know. I'm kind of favoring Clemson here.
I'm favoring Clemson too.
Yeah, we all know they're more talented from a roster standpoint, which isn't, I'm not saying that means they're better, but it's a piece of the analysis. We all believe that South Carolina is playing like a top 10 team in the entire country right now. And you could argue that Clemson, you want to say should have, whatever. Clemson had South Carolina down to their last play.
Yes.
And they couldn't finish the last play. SMU, I don't know how to evaluate SMU because I haven't seen them give against anybody good.
Well, I will say this too. It's hard to evaluate Clemson too when who is their best win this year? I mean, they got smoked by Louisville. I mean, smoked. I mean, it was embarrassing in which the Cardinals whooped their ass on both sides.
That is true.
The win for South Carolina, everyone who watches this knows what I feel about South Carolina. I think that's a really good football team. That would have been awesome. And I am impressed that they were in control of that game for 3 quarters. It felt like Clemson was going to win. And then Lenore Sellers, with his 18 broken tackles, found a way to win that football game in the 4th quarter. But it was still in your home building. So you do walk away a little bit disappointed that you're unable to finish that game off in the fourth quarter. So it's hard to feel confident like who Clemson is because they themselves have not had any sort of win to hold their hat on this year.
Yeah, and to be fair, if we look at common opponents, it does actually favor
SMU.
SMU. Yeah. Like Clemson barely beat Pitt 24-20. SMU beat him 48-25. You mentioned Florida State. What was Clemson 29-13? SMU was 42-16. Yeah, Louisville, Clemson gets dominated, loses 32-21 at home. SMU wins 34-27 on the road. Okay.
Ooh, transitive property stuff going on here.
I guess what else I'm struggling with is we've never seen SMU on the stage. They're so new to the party. We've seen Dabo and Clemson here plenty. They kind of feel like the ACC Championship is their birthright of sorts. Do you think the Clemson experience on these stages matters?
And Dabo's experience on this stage matters.
Yeah.
I think Cade is playing like really good football right now. Like really, really good football. I think throwing the football, he's been just terrific this season. I think running the football, he's been great as of late, and it always been an incredible athlete. I think he's playing at a high level right now. The interception to end last week sucked, no doubt about it, but I thought he had a pretty damn good game against a salty defense in South Carolina. So I'm leaning Clemson in this one. But a close enough game where SMU still gets in. I don't think Clemson blows them out.
No, I mean, if anybody blows them out, again, it's kind of like some of the other games we broke down. It seems like the explosiveness of SMU would point to maybe that.
I don't think anyone. I don't think so. It's hard for me to feel like either team can blow anyone out in this one. I think this is a close game, regardless of what. It's hard for me to pick out a scenario in which anyone blows anyone out. I think this is a close.
Here's
within 10 points. Within 10 points, someone's going to win this game.
Here's what I would say. Clemson this year has been very good defensively for the most part. And maybe their struggles have come more on the offensive side of the ball. Whereas SMU has dominated offensively all year long, but looking at their schedule, I don't know that they played another defense really close to what Clemson's going to be bringing to bear here. And so in the end, I think that's going to be the difference. I think the Clemson defense is something that SMU hasn't necessarily seen yet. And it'll be more low scoring than SMU wants it to be, and Clemson will end up winning a more low scoring affair.
Yep, I agree.
But if it's a close game, SMU's in, SEC out.
I would say SMU should be, for the committee going forward, not just this year, but going forward, needs to set the precedent that if you're in a conference championship game, if we're going to have these fucking things, they need to mean something, and they also need to mean that you're not going to lose a spot in the playoffs. It's a wild precedent to set in year one that you have 3 9-3 teams sitting at home, and you have an 11-1 conference team in their conference championship, and if they lose, they are out.
I mean, yeah, that makes it sounds like even if they lose that, I mean, from that perspective, like, yeah, even if they lose by 100, you should put them in. I feel
it's an 11-1 football team who you're saying has to win while 3 9-3 teams sit at home.
Go Duck says transitive property using September ball versus November ball is always hilarious and showing. Yeah, I mean, look, I know these are some flawed ways that we're using to arrive here. But that's kind of why I threw them out the window, because yeah, SMU wins the transitive property battle, but I don't think it's
so Timothy Harris in the chat said, why play these games? Like, I'm with you. Like I it can obviously help you because you can get the bye. But if it's going to hurt a team, Lane did say this the other day. It's true. If it's going to hurt you enough to where
that's Jim Phillips' entire point.
Yeah, it's stupid.
I think I mean Yeah. We'll see. Very interested to see where SMU comes ranked tonight. Oh, well, I'd say that was informative and fun. If you agree, please hit the like button, sub, and we'll see you next time for some more snaps.